Hello, my name is Ruben Sloric, and this is my pitch for the final major project on the first year of the UAL Creative Media Production and Technology course. To the left of me, I will present my proposal PowerPoint, and with that provide a more in-depth perspective on all the information on that document. My initial idea for this project is a short film. In this short film project, I want to convey the codes and conventions of the horror and thriller genre. The narrative of this short film revolves around the idea of jealousy and how far love and passion can take somebody. The film will take place from two perspectives: the perspective of a wife and her best friend. The first of the three acts will follow the wife as she sees her husband and her best friend together, and therefore immediately concludes that there is an affair occurring. This act is the beginning of the use of the conventional aspects of the thriller genre, and will present all the information I found over my research of this genre type. In the second act, we take the perspective of the wife's best friend. She finds herself alone in her dark house in the evening, and begins to hear strange noises all around her house. She spends the majority of Act 2 investigating these anomalies. This act will be the main one that represents my knowledge and understanding of the codes and conventions of the horror genre, and put to test all the knowledge I found over my research of this genre. In the third act, we finally see the wife and best friend meet. Initially, it seems like a friendly interaction, as we see the best friend be relieved that the intruder in her house is just her friend, the wife. However, this friendly interaction does not last long, as soon after, the wife ends up killing the best friend. This initial idea is not set in stone, and may be subject to change. As I conduct more research across the project, I may end up changing parts of this narrative to make it further fit into the thriller and horror genre. As well as this, as I progress further through the project, I will gain a more fleshed out idea of what the narrative wants to be, and by the end of that, I will have a fully mapped out idea for the short film. As for staff and equipment, I plan to use 3 adult actors, 2 female and 1 male. I also plan to shoot in 2 locations, the first of which being my personal home, as I feel it generates a real sense of claustrophobia and offers some great areas to do some interesting shooting. The second location is undecided as of right now. However, I am aware that I need to look for a place that offers an office complex and a car park for my actor to walk through. As for equipment, I plan to use 3 main items, the first of which being my Nikon D3300 DSLR camera, an iPhone 14 with a DJI gimbal handheld, and a zoom recorder. A lot of my inspiration resides from the enjoyment I found in producing my 1-minute short film in Unit 1 and 2. This project not only taught me a great deal about production processes going forward in the course, but also that I am fairly effective in this media type, as I managed to get a full distinction grade on this project. I still feel that my skills as a director and cinematographer still need work and further advancement. However, I feel taking on this task as my final major project is the best way for me to advance these skills even further. Another big inspiration for this project has been my passion for editing. As soon as the FMP was announced, I knew immediately that I wanted to do a task that implemented a lot of editing. This is mainly due to the fact that editing is my strongest skill, and implementing this into my final major project will allow me to deliver the best product I can. I do feel that going into the media niche of short films is the best way for me to convey these strong skills in video editing. Another massive inspiration for me for this project is my obsession with cinema. Recently, I have been seriously getting into the thriller and horror genre, and gained serious interest in how they convey atmosphere. I absolutely love how horror films like The Shining, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, Alien and Us convey such terrifying and unsettling atmospheres all throughout, through their use of acting, settings, colour grading, and most importantly, sound. I also found that movies like Apocalypse Now, Seven, Prisoners and Shutter Island do incredible jobs of creating this skin-crawling atmosphere. I believe that there is seriously a lot to be inspired by these films, and a lot that I could research and implement into my short film to create a seriously terrifying and anxiety-inducing short film. Another massive inspiration for me is how some specific characters are presented in some of the biggest thriller films. Some standout characters for me are characters like Amy Dunn from Gone Girl or Natalie from Memento. I feel that these characters have provided me with some incredible ideas on how I should write and take approach to how I develop my characters in my short film. I also believe that these are 2 thriller films I can take serious inspiration from and help create even more atmosphere in the more thriller acts of my film. When looking for examples of work, I immediately turned to YouTube to look for 6 short films that resemble the conventions, style or genre of the short film I would like to create. I believe that these not only present the vision I have for the style and atmosphere of the short film I want to create, but also give me leeway into having more things to refer to when finding inspiration. Having a greater source of inspiration will allow me to create an even more effective media product. I plan to perform research that will cover everything I need to know to create as effective of a short film as possible. To do this, I have split my research tasks into 9 main tasks, with 3 extra side pieces of research within that. The 9 main tasks, as well as the other 3 I plan to carry out, go as follows. Research into short films, as well as research into the dialogue of short films. Codes and conventions of horror, as well as identifying the common SFX, music, and editing techniques used in horror films. Codes and conventions of thrillers, as well as identifying the common SFX, music, and edit techniques of thriller films. Short film analysis, analysis on inspirational characters and films, creating a questionnaire for my target audience, experimentation with software and hardware equipment, requesting feedback on my research tasks, as well as proceeding to do so with my planning and main production tasks, as well as my research evaluation. As for my plan, I have split the entire project into 5 individual segments, each individual segment being dedicated to one production process, for example, pre-production, post-production, or evaluation. I have also given myself start, end, and contingency deadlines to complete each of these segments by. This ensures I have a comprehensive mapped out plan for managing my workload across the entire unit. This will be vital to managing my workflow overall. In a similar vein to the plan, I have also produced a Gantt chart to help visualize that workload. I have found that these more visual styles of documentation help significantly when referring back to them in production, or help me manage my workflow and manage time. I really look forward to moving forward in this project. I hope I can utilise all the skills I have learned and developed over the course thus far to create a really effective short film product. I believe that the quality of this product heavily relies on the planning and research I conduct, and my ability as a director in main production. However, I do still have full confidence in these skills despite their need for development.